I'm just getting ready to go to the office for the day, and I was listening to Women's Hour, and Jenny was interviewing a doctor talking about the increase in the amount of children that are prescribed antidepressants. It's increased by 12%. 12% is so scary for me. They went on to talk about, the pressures that are on children and how children are falling under such pressures to be in the world as it is right now, and that's the cause and effect of that, and that the numbers that are experiencing anxiety and depression are just rocketing. And I can't help, I actually feel pained by that. I feel pained by it because we use that as a reason. Well, it's because of the pressures they're under. The pressures they're under. And I just think, well, why are they under those pressures? Why is childhood being robbed? It's because of the adults making decisions around them to create systems, processes, expectations upon them that are just not right. They're not healthy. They're not empowering. They're not allowing our children to have childhoods. It's just all wrong. But actually, we are responsible and we are capable of making that change. One of my daughters, is not at school today. She's not poorly. She's not at school today because she's exhausted and she just needs a day out of that system. But she'll get marked down for being absent. It goes against the school record. The school, if they have lots of people doing that, lose funding. They come under scrutiny. They may lose their Ofsted status. They get into trouble for that. People then judge them for that. We, the parents, the adults, we are responsible for this engagement of the system. We engage it, we feed it. How many people I recognise all around me who are competitive parenting, constantly pushing their child out of the home into clubs and groups and doing this, and they've achieved that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against that. In principle, I'm not against that, but we must allow our children just to be, to make their own decisions, to find what those decisions might be, to allow them to shrink the importance of achievement in school to a system that isn't really designed naturally for their own benefit. It really isn't. And allow them to come up with their own passions, their own way of following what interests them. What do they want to learn? How? When? Why? Outside of the home, the pressures that they see that we're under. How many people I see just celebrating the kind of, at the end of the day, I'm going to have my glass of wine. This is what our children see, that our days are stressful and we need alcohol to help relieve this terrible pressure we're under. These constant messages that, that we can't cope with the way life is at the moment, or that we're just tired and grouchy, or will you come and play with me? I can't, I've got to finish this. Or, we are also responsible for what they see outside of their institutional environments. We're responsible for feeding the message of life out here is really big and scary. And I don't believe hearing about terrorist attacks is actually as impactful as the daily messages that we give them in school, out of school, through our own expression of our own issues, etc., etc. I feel riled by that interview. I feel desperate to not engage with the pressures that that children are experiencing. Part of my work is life coaching and counselling, and I have seen a massive increase in teenagers that cannot cope. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they really want. They don't know what they really care about. They are not looking outwardly to hold a social responsibility. They're not able to because they are looking so internally, searching for identity, searching for a place of meaning and purpose and passion, and they can't find it. I feel really passionate about working with those kind of teenagers and those families. It's never just the teenager that needs the work. It's the whole environment that's around him or her. It's teaching their school to lay off, actually, right now. Right now, exam results are really inconsequential to the effects of what's going on for this person's life if we don't get it right. You know, it's about saying to the parents, shrink the importance of the school in their life and create more that's going on outside of it. Where's the joy? What are the messages you're feeding your children through your own working lives? And we're all under pressure. We're all under pressure. We are creating this pressure. The amount that we're consuming is feeding another machine that puts us under more pressure. You know, I can talk about all the subjects about why we're under pressure. And when you just pull back the curtains on it all, you just ask yourself, how can I live my life in a way that will make me well? And I can guarantee that all the things that we're engaging with right now will need to come under scrutiny. Schooling, your work, how you express yourself through your work, your friendships, how you spend your money, what chemicals you're engaging with in your home, how you feed yourself, how you relax, how you are as a member of a family, and so it goes on. All of those areas will need scrutiny, and I can guarantee that the decluttering, the detoxing will be big. But I'm up for it because I don't want to be told my children are under so much pressure. I want to actively choose if they are. And I'm working out how to do that. At the moment, I feel like I can't do exactly what I want because I don't have the right community around me. But I'm working on it. And working on it is good enough. Talking to my children about this later on will be important. Me saying to them, you know, relax, I'll probably be here on my bed with them around me, and I'll say to them, guys, I heard this thing today on the radio. 12% increase. This upsets me. This concerns me. Why is this going on? They talked about the pressures that you guys are under. Let's talk about that. Let's recognise that, because if we recognise it and if we talk about it together, we will shrink it. And we can see it coming. We can turn the other way. We can make a choice in a moment that's the right choice. And that's what I'll be doing with my kids later on. But I think collectively, you know, the more that we're having these kind of the terrorist attacks and, you know, the fire in London and all these things that are happening they're terrible things. But there's the most beautiful thing that's also happening. There's an uprising of people who are saying enough's enough. There's an uprising of people who are saying we want to love response. We want to care. We want to be community. We want to actually do something. Because I think for many years we've all been quite apathetic and things have just suddenly come without us going, oh, we didn't know we didn't see that coming. Well, no, because we were all just sitting back, just getting on with our own individual little ways of doing life. And now I think we're having a shake-up. We're having a really big shake-up, and I think it feels empowering. You know, when this crap is happening, we're rising up individually. And, you know, I've heard lots and lots recently about it takes us all to do the small things to make a global shift. That you think that your small little actions will go nowhere. But if everyone is doing small little actions, wow, it's like a massive wave. And I am feeling that wave, you know. How many more people voted for the principles and the purpose and the passion that Corbyn is talking about? You know, that was exciting to me, that people are rising up and hearing this stuff and believing that things can change. It's exciting for me to see how many people have come out and are actively engaged with the Grenfell story, that story is far more than a fire in a tower block. That story has deep ramifications for our society. And if we engage with that story personally, then we join in with those residents to say, actually, we believe our small actions will have a huge impact and we are willing to make them. We are willing to say to our schools, can we look for a change? We're willing to say to Ofsted, we don't care about your results anymore. We actually want a different system. We are willing to say, I'm going to vote differently. I'm going to listen to a different way. I'm going to care about my neighbour. I'm going to stop thinking like that because it's ill-formed, and I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to talk to my children about the difficult things as well as the joys, to empower them to be people that do, people that care about the small things. You know, there is this uprising happening, and it's the most beautiful effect of the darkest of actions, of things to have happened. You know, we hear all the time the message of we will not let them get us down. The terrorists will not, stop us, blah, blah, blah. And I think, yeah, I get that message, but let's actually really talk about that message. Let's actually really talk about God is love. Love. What really is love? Because actually we use love so quickly, the word love. Oh yeah, we just must love him, try and love it, love it. There is a verse in the Bible that says, love your neighbour as you love yourself. What does that truly, truly mean? I have come to know God is love as the most biggest, healing, transformative truth of my entire life. Love changes everything. Cliche, true. Love changes everything. If you truly love in everything you do, in every reaction, in every idea, hope, thought, turn of event, this world will be utterly transformed from our small unit to a global effect. I'm not frightened of Trump. I'm not bothered by Theresa May. Right now, I want to think about how love can transform my every breath. It's not easy. It is really not easy. I feel almost like it. I'm not going to say anger because it's not an anger. I feel a drive from hearing that interview, from listening to stuff from the Grenfell Tower, from the recent attacks, from hearing the stuff that's gone on not in our nation, in other nations recently that doesn't get so much press, but you pick up on it and you feel that connection to them and to their story. And I feel this surge inside of me to get my ass into gear and to rekindle with the joy that life has given me and the choice that I have to love my enemies, to love my challenges, to love my children, to love my darknesses as much as my light. And through that, we will see transformation. And I can't be asked to do something to remember my point of love and to work from that energy and do it. And not just do it. As I said to my daughter, my eldest, this morning, I said, try not just to do something for the sake of doing it, but to find the love gift inside of you, because love will give you the energy. And find the love to do that task with love. She was actually doing the dishwasher. And she said to me, why does the dishwasher need my love? And I said, because if you give the dishwasher love, it will give it back to you. And she looked at me like I was crazy, but I genuinely mean that. If you give everything the act of love, from here, the love, it will come back in ways you will never, ever imagine. That's my rant for today. I just felt like I couldn't just go off to the office and get on with my day without just letting some of this stuff out. A rise of 12% for our children. What is our responsibility in that? What are we teaching them? What are we saying no to for them? What are we signing up to for them? What are we pushing them for? What are we asking them? What are we hearing from our children? Where are we giving them the space to be truly organically themselves? That's where I'm at.